for joining the Ramblecast, and we're debating whether Matt was on the Mandalorian podcast last night. He's claiming he was, but I didn't see him.
The Geek Dad Life? Is that what you're talking about?
Maybe it wasn't. I clicked on something Ralph. I figured Ralph was promoting Geek Dad Life.
Maybe you're thinking of Star Wars action or live action because he does
live action.
That might have been it.
Okay,
that might have been it.
All right.
It could
I know he's doing.
I know he's. But you were. But before you even hit record, you were adamant about like, oh no, I checked it out. You weren't on there, Matt. And I'm like, yeah, I was on Geek Dad Life. I think I remember what I did last night.
But do you?
I do.
So what, Matt? What'd you think of the? What'd you think of the finale?
Hey, we're not talking about this for 30 minutes.
Okay,
we can talk about the finale for a couple minutes, right? It's a finale. You don't
Go ahead.
You don't have to talk about it for like another year.
That's true. I was actually surprised by it.
Excuse me, can we talk it? Because Fernando Tatis is coming back today. So I'll just leave at 9:40, go watch that, and then come back.
And right now we're taking a commercial break.
I will fall on the sword and take the blame. I've got like an hour in me tonight.
An hour?
Maybe
an hour. Of Mandalorian?
No. Of the show.
Okay.
It's been a long week,
this podcast.
It has been a long ass fucking week. And I just popped a good 10 milligrams, so I'm probably gonna be going to bed in about an
hour. Today was a weird day. It was like I was running errands the whole time, and it just felt like all of these weird things kept happening. Like I was trying to get some laundry done, but then there was like something in the wash that exploded all over the clothes. So then I had to rewash.
You're pretending you were on a podcast that you weren't.
That's true.
Check.
So let's get to it. Get to it. Get to the point here. What'd you think of the Mandalorian season finale, Matt?
I liked it. You know, I was very pleased with how the season ended. I mean, was the season perfect? No, it had flaws. I think in hindsight, there's some other things that they could have. But
I heard it had one bad episode.
It depends on what you didn't like about the season, honestly, because there were fans that didn't like the Coruscant episode. I mean, there were
fans that didn't like that.
People just came out hating it, and it to me it was like a little piece of Andor. And as the season progressed, we saw how that piece kind of fit in. You know, now
kind of right.
I think you know one of the things that Ralph and Jay were kind of critical of, and they disliked it more than I. I was kind of like the one that was positive. Ralph was
the finale.
Yeah.
Jay disliked something.
Yeah. He disliked it. So and Ralph, we were split on it. So it was kind of like how Rise of Skywalker. Like Ralph loves Rise of Skywalker, Jay hates Rise of Skywalker, and I'm somewhere in the middle. Like I like half of that movie.
Yeah.
The other half with the Emperor, I'm still kind of miffed about. But
I'll tell you, like I think from my perspective, I thought it was good. I thought it was not a great finale, to be honest. Like for a season finale of a show, like it had its moments, but I don't think it closed out with like a wow, that's the end of the season. Like I liked it. I think that if you're rating a finale based upon intensity levels, I think that you flip the last two episodes. I think that's more like the feeling in like like taste and like left in my mouth, essentially, of what I would look for in a season finale. Clearly, Gideon, that was a clone,
possibly, or somehow he survives. Right?
He had no mustache. I don't know if you caught that. So Gideon did not have a mustache. The Gideon in the finale did not have a mustache.
Yeah.
So you're saying it's a fake Gideon?
I think so. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah,
I haven't seen it, but I'm saying
my prediction is that was a clone, because it was just too perfect and easy and clean of a death for a character of his like immensity to be done. So I feel like that's not the last we're going to see of him. I think that there is the original still out there, and I think there are also clones.
And they definitely have set up that Gideon is the main villain for the Mandalorian and Grogu. As we know with the Ahsoka show and the villain that we're getting with that, they they have this ability to kind of
There's gonna be that fucking tension there, which I'm excited about, because Gideon's got no fucking love for my boy
Gideon's
Thrawn.
Bible.
Yeah. What's up? What were you saying?
Gideon's Bible.
Yes.
Yeah, or
If you just say yes, sometimes it works better and quicker that way, Matt.
I was gonna say, or it reminds me of my Morning Jacket song. But anyway, yeah,
good song, by the way.
Yeah, that's what came to mind.
Yeah, dude. In all of my predictions, I mean, technically haven't been disproven yet. Could potentially be disproven. I honest to God thought the armor was going to be
I know
turncoat,
but I liked that she wasn't.
Yeah,
you know. So I actually liked the fact that she wasn't. That surprised me. Is it? We saw the loyalty of Axe Wolves, and everybody kind of coming together, and I enjoyed the way the battle scene kind of played out. So, excuse me. But yeah, I mean, I think if this was a book, right? Like if it felt kind of like we've been reading chapters. This felt like, oh, and this is the end of the first book.
Yeah.
Whereas like, season 4 can start up, and I felt like they really literally planted seeds, with the underground cave gardens. They can jump forward in time now with this cast and these characters, depending on if they want to move it forward 5 years, and it's like all of a sudden certain things have changed and we've moved.
What did you think of the last, like the close? Excuse me, like the final scene? Like it felt like it was an afterthought. I don't know if you thought that at all.
Oh, the epilogue?
In the bar. In the bar.
The bar.
It's like it was like a shitty like tent that it looks like they just created they came back to shoot like a scene.
Were they drinking oil?
Dave Filoni was in it for whatever reason.
Obvious Dave Filoni too.
Yeah, it was so weird. Like,
it was. Yeah, it was. I mean, so.
Jack's like, oh, I'm fucking done with this.
I think the one thing that my son complained about the most about the episode was actually how it ended on Grogu, and that little like dissolve kind of like, well, that's all, folks.
Like the whole like Thanos in his vacation home close out. Like I was like,
hey, Thanos, he's in this show.
Yep. Yes, you got to watch it, man.
Spanos,
he's in it now.
Yeah, Thanos. But like, I don't know. I felt like it was a very muted ending to a season.
The way Jay described it is that it felt like Chat GPT could have like scripted it or something like that. That it was like an AI. Like
it's pretty good.
I did like the fact that none of my predictions, and that it did surprise me with certain things. So
yeah,
but on to Ahsoka, and if you enjoy Visions, there's going to be a season 2 of Visions that's going to drop on May the 4th. So
be with you.
Anyway, we'll just
what's Visions? Another Star Wars thing?
It's an animated. Series. It's cool because they can go in. They just allow them to explore the whole Star Wars universe, and you get these kind of cool stories by these animators that are just super creative. So
like, I will say though, this was probably our shortest discussion on Mandalorian. So there you go, Jack.
That's a T struck out. Okay. Anyway, I was listening very intently at what you guys were saying.
Hey, I went and saw yesterday. I went and saw the Super Mario Bros. Movie.
Oh yeah,
Matt, have you seen it?
I have not, but
fucking awesome. Loved it.
Yeah?
I thought it was great. Like it exceeded my expectations. Well, technically, which were very low. But I thought they did.
It's made a lot of money, right?
Yeah, it's making a ton of money. I honestly have to say that like I think they did that movie right. Right, it was appropriately campy in all the right places. Tons of references that you can pick up on, especially for people of our generation who grew up on Nintendo, the 8-bit system, and all the games. They did a really nice job with it, I thought. It wasn't as jarring as I thought it would be listening to Chris Pratt as Mario. I thought he did a great job. what's his name? Sebastian Maniscalco is in it for a period of a short bit character in there as well.
Did he do his stand up?
Well, he actually I think he read for Mario originally, but didn't get the part. And they gave him a part. His name is Spike, who is, if you remember the video game Wrecking Crew back in the 80s, he was the main baddie. But in Donkey Kong, I didn't know this, but Donkey Kong was actually played by Seth Rogen, and I thought that was hilarious how they pulled that off. But they did. There's a couple of scenes where they let the Seth Rogen laugh in there intentionally, and here I am laughing my ass off in the theater in a room full of 7 to 12-year-old kids, and I'm like, no one's getting it. Like, I thought it was funny.
No, he's a stoner, and he has a very distinct laugh.
Yeah, and then Jack Black did a great job as Bowser. Like, it's worth seeing it.
Who
did
Lizzo?
Really
who did Lizzo play?
Lizzo did not make a presence in her presence known in this movie. I do recommend it. She was
too busy on The Mandalorian.
It was a great movie, right? But so was Jack Black.
Yeah, but he was back.
Yeah.
But yeah, check it out. I mean, it's definitely, it was worth the price of admission. I would go back and see it again if I meant to make the choice over again. I enjoyed it, and they do set up. There's 2 credits / mid credit / post credit scenes that set up definitely a franchise of movies, because they're going to print money with this.
Well, I heard that Yoshi's not in it, right?
Right.
Sorry, if that's spoilers.
No,
it's not. I'm not going to go see it now.
Well, I had seen something about it, like, something, and it was something kind of just like making fun of it, or not making fun of it, but it was a humorous.
Was that on Saturday Night Live?
No, it was some TikTok or Insta reel that I was like swiping through, and I was like, right. You fall into those rabbit holes. So
yeah, it sucks, man. No, seriously, I'll be on that YouTube stuff, and I go, shit, I've been on this thing for a half fucking hour.
Right. But they just did such a cool job. Like, there's actually if you played Mario Kart as a kid, if you played Mario Brothers as a kid, there's references to Duck Hunt, Super Punch Out, like Wrecking Crew, Donkey Kong, Mario Brothers, the original game. Like, there's so many of these references out there, and I think they did a really good job of making the Super Mario Brothers movie that should have been made in 1991 with, instead of John Leguizamo and what's his name, Bob Hoskins, I think it was. Did he play Mario?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That wasn't cartoon.
Live action. Live action.
It
was fucking terrible. They actually had a perfectly placed cameo of the original voice of Mario is in it. Yeah,
cool.
It's cool how they did it all. So I definitely recommend. Have fun watching it. My kids or my daughter, I took my daughter and her friend, which they don't really have a connection to Mario, really, the whole Mario world outside of Super Smash Brothers. But there's a huge Super Smash Brothers section of the movie too. Like, they do a good job, and it brought my daughter into it, and she enjoyed it. So she wants to do more stuff with Mario Brothers. So
I agree with John, the retired guy. I would go see Pong the movie.
Yeah, that would be like 5 minutes long. So good luck.
Be a long
5 minutes. 5 minutes Pong.
5 minutes of Pong.
Well, the thing gets shorter. It's kind of the little paddles.
Yeah.
And then I think we talked about this last week. On the other side of from a video game perspective, the Tetris movie. If you haven't seen Tetris movie on Apple TV, do check that out. It's definitely a different movie.
Yeah.
But it's awesome story about how Tetris actually did make it to the United States and to the rest of the world.
It's a fun movie to watch, I think, too. Yeah. Like it has.
I knew there was something I had to watch on Apple TV, and I forgot the name.
Tetris.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I forgot all about it. But
I've been watching the Big Door Prize, so it came out on.
How is that?
I'm enjoying it. It's got a little bit of there's kind of like this little bit of a mystery to it, So it in some ways kind of not depressing like The Leftovers, but it has kind of like a little bit of a sci-fi kind of like I love The Leftovers. Don't get me wrong. Like, but
No, the season 1 is very depressing.
right, and I don't think that the twist or the kind of plot kind of like device is as I don't know how to describe it, but I've enjoyed it. I like how each episode kind of like is a different character's story, so you're kind of seeing time unfold through different characters' eyes, and I think maybe the first episode might not hook you, so watch the first 2, and then you should be good. You should be like, oh, okay, I want to see more of these.
Who's in that?
I knew you were going to ask me that, but I can't remember the actor's name because he's from the IT crowd.
Okay,
but there's not a lot of like.
Because Cindy started watching something with Jennifer Gardner.
Oh yeah, that's what John just mentioned. The last thing he told me with Jennifer Gardner.
Okay.
That does look really cool. I'm glad that it's a good flick. Check it out.
Yeah, she started watching without me. She goes, "Have you been watching?" I go, "No."
Oh, now we can
watch.
hear Jack.
I don't watch things without you.
Yeah.
Couldn't hear me before.
What you were doing?
You're away from the mic.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forget. I'm sorry. I wasn't saying anything anyway.
I would be remiss, and I know I've mentioned this a few times, but I'm going to mention it again just because it's in my right in front of me what I've been watching recently at lunchtime. I'm catching up with Superman and Lois.
Okay, yeah.
CW/HBO. HBO. If you want to catch up, HBO's where to watch it. You have to listen to the ads or watch the ads from CW. Dude, that show is great. Like, I'm gonna go ahead and say, like, it's my favorite iteration of Superman.
But you like all Superman shows.
No, that's not true. Like, I mean, I watched Smallville. I watched Smallville. I actually ended up like watching it just because I had to see it end.
Right?
Did you watch Lois and Clark?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, all right.
Well, your argument's holding water.
Did you watch? Did you watch the Fleischman cartoons of Superman? Did you watch those when they came out?
Okay, all right. Did you watch the Superman movies with Christopher Reeves? Okay.
Yep.
Did you like the 4th Superman movie?
No.
You probably didn't.
A Quest
see
for
it.
Peace of shit is what that movie is going to be called.
All right. So one thing you're against. One thing.
Okay. No, but you were
no.
saying
I will say.
I
will say. Like, I think that the Superman character has been gone through ups and downs of like, what's his name? Henry Cavill was awesome, but they've gotten rid of him.
My twin.
Yeah. But this iteration of Superman, this universe of Superman, I think from like a serialized television show, they've done it right, and I'm actually super impressed with it. I'm on season 3, or I'm not even sure what the hell season I'm on, but you reminded me of it because there's actually an episode where they go into like a bizarro world, and they kind of like. The episode is broken up into like 5 different parts where you get to see each character's journey, right? But
I always like the bizarro stuff.
Is Superman an adult or is he a kid?
Yes, he's an adult.
Yeah,
so he has kids.
Okay. Yeah, so the premise of the show.
He has kids?
Yeah.
The premise of the show is like
Superman.
No. The premise of the show is that it's
they're not his kids.
Superman. No, Jesus fuck. This is the reason. Why do I do this?
I know.
This question.
Can you get to the point?
Fuck you, Jack.
Every week. Like
the idea and the premise of the show. I get paid a nickel every time I say that out loud. Is that so? Lois and Clark are moving from Metropolis back to Smallville because Clark's mom passes away. And they have 2 teenage boys they've been raising. And they get back to Smallville, and he's kind of like going back into like his old thing. Like Lana Lang still lives there, and she's played by Emmanuel Turqui from Entourage, which I love. She's amazing. Like it's a story about his family kind of reintegrating into Smallville and all the shit that ensues that kind of follows him there. And one of his sons starts developing superhero powers as well. It's a great story.
So it is his sons. They
Correct.
are his kids. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I didn't want Superman to be cheated on. That was my biggest, because he's a nice guy, and I could see him.
Who would she cheat on Superman with? Wonder
Well,
Man.
well, there's what's his name?
That's the first Superman knockoff, by the way. It's
Jimmy
Wonder
Olsen
Man.
was not the innocent guy we all thought he was. All right.
And then there's Captain Marvel, the original like DC Captain, or no, wasn't even DC, but like he becomes Shazam eventually.
Maybe Captain America, Chris Evans comes in. She's like, well, he's not bad, right?
Hold the fucking on. Shit. Henry Cavill was the kid in The Count of Monte Cristo? No.
Wait, what?
Well, no, there's going to be some Googling happening.
He's Googling as we speak.
Holy shit, it is.
Really?
I'll take my comments offline now, Alex.
Wow. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and do this.
Well, how long did that movie come out? Like 30-something years ago?
That's
right?
Wild.
Huh. Yeah, that's him.
That's crazy. I never knew that. That was 20 years ago, 21 years ago.
21. I thought it was longer.
Great movie, though. Count of Monte Cristo.
Wow. It's been around that long, dude.
But Jack, I'll show you the guy who plays. I don't know his name. I'll show you the guy who plays Batman or Batman. Fuck me. What the fuck am I talking about? Superman in the what do you call it?
Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Oh, it's Mrs. Davis. Yeah.
Lois and Superman Lois.
Tyler
Hoechlin.
Tyler Hoechlin.
Tyler Hoechlin.
Tyler Hoechlin.
Yep.
Oh, okay, yeah. He's a good Superman. Yeah.
And he's stupid ripped too. Like so, like you see his suit. There's a couple of scenes where like he's actually not clothed. He doesn't have a shirt on, and it's like, oh fuck, those are actually real muscles. Like he's got like a 12-pack of abs. And, like,
what a dick!
Like, you fucking asshole.
He doesn't have the true dad bod.
When I'm podcasting, I keep my shirt on.
He doesn't have a true dad bod.
It's true. He does not.
Yeah.
He does not.
What? So
I recommend if you're looking for a show to watch and you dig Superman, dig that whole universe, go ahead and watch it. It's fun.
I might try. I'm gonna add it to my list of fucking shows I have to watch.
Yeah.
I'm not caught up in Ted Lasso. I'm an episode.
I'm not either. I'm behind.
Okay.
Anybody think that I believe Ted Lasso is going to go back to the United States. I think he's going to leave probably before the season's over. And I think that
your fucking face.
I think the person that takes over the team, and I'm drawing a blank on his name all of a sudden, but the Wonder Kid. Why am I drawing a blank on his name? Nate. Nate takes over the team.
Come back and lead the team
because Nate's getting a redemption story this season, right? And I think that
this is the last season.
I don't think he's the asshole because it's all setting up for Ted Lasso to go home. He obviously left because he broke up with his wife. Right now, he's become a little more vocal, a little tougher. He told her off a couple weeks ago, right? I hadn't really told her off, but he told her he was pissed.
He shared how he's felt about it. That's the last episode I watched.
You guys suck because you can't even watch Ted Lasso. Like seriously, guys. Like, come on.
What? Without trying to think what's going to happen?
No, I understand. Chris, you have an excuse. Jack, you have no excuse. You can put that stuff on while you're babysitting during the middle of the day. Your grandchildren, they can watch him say fuck all over the place. It doesn't matter. Okay. They're It's so this last episode was so like I just was
Chef's
so
kiss. Oh, really?
Is that the one we haven't seen?
Yeah. So I haven't seen the last two. So like it's the only show my wife watches. So if I watched it without her, like I would be in the she'd be pissed. Like she watches nothing. She does not watch TV at all. But she does watch Ted Lasso.
My wife is heavy on the reruns. Like she'll just watch a show that like as like a comfort to fall asleep to. But getting her to watch a new show can be difficult. We've been watching Shrinking on Apple Plus right now. And
Cindy wants to start that.
Usually it happens because someone else recommends a show. And then
Right.
my wife's like, "Oh, let's try one." So
it's like Jack and me. Like, so he'll recommend something. I'll recommend something, and Jack's like, "Oh, but someone else said it was good. I'll give it a shot."
I was already like 4 episodes into the season, and I was like, "Oh yeah, it's starting to really build. I like this show." And then my wife started watching it, and I was like, "Stop the brakes. Let's pump it, and then like watch it with the." But
well, my wife's the same way. I'll sit there and tell her about a show, and she'll go, "Now." I go,
it's got some.
I did the same thing with Ted Lasso. When Nick suggested it, I told Cindy, I said, "Hey, I think you're gonna like this show."
I think Nick's onto something.
Yeah,
he might have something to say about Lincoln too.
Yeah, my favorite one was Downton Abbey, though. She refused to watch. I go, "You're going to." I go, "I wouldn't recommend a show to you that."
I remember you trying to pull her like,
and she kept saying, "No, no, no." Now she's seen every episode like 5 billion times. This show is so good. Really, really.
Who recommended it?
Chris told me about it.
I need to just text your wife. Like,
I've never seen one episode of Downton Abbey. To be honest with you.
We need to get Cindy to just like accept that you didn't recommend the show to her. We did.
Yeah.
I had to talk her into watching Ghost. She watched Ghost. She likes it.
Ghost.
Mm-hmm. And it's like I wouldn't lie to you. I think she gets mad because I don't like her shows. She'll recommend a show, and I go, "It's probably going to suck, isn't it?" And then if I don't like it, I'm not quiet. I'm making fun of it the whole time. She goes, "Can you please stop watching it?" And she doesn't realize that the only reason I'm making fun of it is so she can tell me to please stop watching it.
You know what show there's a show that I after watching clips of it, the amount of clips of this show that I've seen on TikTok, I think I've pretty much seen complete seasons of this show. I'm gonna enunciate my words really clearly here. It's the worst but best TV show ever. Hardcore Pawn, not Pawn as in I'm from Boston, but Pawn, Pawn. So it's not, to be clear, not hardcore porn, but hardcore pawn.
Is it a pawn shop show?
It is, and it's fucking terribly scripted. Like, it's so blatantly fake. But it's the whole point of the show is that every interaction is an altercation, and it's fucking. It's so fun to watch. It's like watching the WWF of pawn shows. It's
funny you mentioned that because Cindy had to go for some tests, and I'm in this doctor's office, and they're playing it. So I'm just watching. I go, God, this is so fucking like you're saying. It's so scripted. Awful. I used to like what was it? Pawn Stars. What was it?
Pawn Stars is great. Also scripted. Like there are all those shows.
People come in and goes, yes, this was John Kennedy's pen. It's been in the family for years. I cannot take less than $5,000 for it. There's no way I can get rid of it. We'll give you $7. Okay, here you go.
Yeah.
That would happen all the time.
Like all those shows are terribly scripted. But the hardcore pawn is the shadiest. Like every single interaction on that show, like the way that's how they kind of like write the show, is that every single one's a crazy altercation in which the bouncer removes somebody. But it's really funny. But yeah, via TikTok, I think I've seen every episode.
Via TikTok, yeah, right. TikTok actually and it works in this way, but TikTok actually got me to like go back and watch some SNL recently because that one sketch of the guy and the girl, like they're in the cars, and
I sent that to us.
I don't know who sent it or what
it was. I sent it on.
I think it was a listener.
Responded to it.
Pretty sure
I think it was Nick. I think it might have been Nick.
Yeah, it might have been Nick, but it was the one where it was road rage.
You can eat my
Jack.
ass.
I was literally just trying to pull you on back on yourself. That's all I was trying to do.
I know. I was just playing along because I don't give a fuck.
No, I pulled it up. I pulled it up in our texting thread. It's Jay. Jay actually sent it. Huh. I wonder what he's up to.
Shit, it wasn't fucking Jay.
Does he even do shows anymore?
No, I like the one they have the guy who's what's his character? He's married to, like, one time it was Jennifer Lopez, the other time it was Margot Robbie, and then the other one was what's her name? what's her name from Cuba, the girl who just hosted Saturday Night Live this week.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that this episode this week.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're on a game show and she's married to him. He goes, and it's Keenan. Your cousin? Is this who? Because they're really attractive and he's not.
He's not.
That's the story behind it.
I gotta watch that one. So I've been trying to. When I have my drawing time, I'll put on a show or I'll put on something and I can really kind of burn through it. But like the show Shrinking, which I started to watch, but I was listening to while I was drawing, I miss a lot of the visual jokes. So going back through it, actually watching it with my wife, I get a lot more of the like, oh, there's this or there's this. There's some subtle things, but we both noticed that one of there's a character named Liz on that show on Shrinking.
Does Liz enjoy from time to time taking a break for a commercial though?
Not when it's under an hour show. She says we don't have to because she's a nosy neighbor. And I got my timer set.
Let's just take a commercial break just for shits.
Fuck you.
Wow, that was aggressive.
Wow, man.
I gotta write this shit down.
So both of us had told Jack to fuck off this episode.
I can't understand why no one else wants to be the producer.
I don't
it's
know.
like when you're watching Tic Tac and people go ballistic on the people at fast food restaurants, and we all bitch that there's nobody working at a fast food restaurant. Why would anyone work at a fast food restaurant to have shit thrown at them the whole time?
You have been told to fuck off twice tonight by us.
I have been. You know what? It's all right. It's cool. I've been told to fuck off my whole life, so it's no big deal. I do have some good news though.
Wait, I was in the middle of saying something. You just like completely derailed me. You were like,
we tried to leave it on some suspense so Matt can finish the story, and we haven't let him.
Oh, I don't know. I all I can remember is Matt telling me to fuck off.
All right, look.
Go ahead.
So
finish your story.
The actress Krista Miller, who was on Scrubs,
he did say Tic Tac. Sorry.
Yeah, I know he did say Tic Tac. I was like, is that what the kids are eating these days? Those Tic Tacs
on the Facebook.
Hey, fuck you, Will Fry. Fuck off, Will Fry.
So sadly, this actress, like, it's hard to kind of. She's had a lot of plastic surgery done. Or Botox because we can't see what's up.
Madonna?
Who are you referring to again?
No, okay. So the character on the show, Shrinking, the character, the actress is named Krista Miller. She plays a character named Liz. She's kind of a nosy neighbor on the show. Anyway, she's had a lot of work done. She used to be on Scrubs. She was like the one of the doctors on there that was like she was married and they were.
She was on Drew Carey's show.
Yes. That's who we're talking about.
Yeah, she has. It's a shame because it's like
I know, like that's like her whole face is frozen here, and then there's another actress on there, Wendy Malick, who plays like she just kind of comes in as kind of a side, character. I don't know if it grows throughout the season or what have you, but she's been in a lot of stuff. She was in the Just Shoot Me. But Wendy Malick, like she's at least, if she's had any stuff done, you can still see her wrinkles and the way she moves, and you can see that expression. It just, I don't know. Like I'm not trying to be.
It's funny how sometimes it comes
people's bodies, their choice, but sometimes I'm just like.
But then you have Kenny Rogers. Remember Kenny Rogers? Plastic surgery. It's like, what are you doing, Kenny?
Yeah.
You're a country folk singer. I mean, you're supposed to look like you have wrinkles.
Grizzled.
Well, he gambled, and it looks like he lost.
He gambled and he lost.
Yeah. Anyway,
I wouldn't have fooled him.
It's almost distracting when I watch the show because I'm like, I can't see past it. So
because she was on an episode of Seinfeld, she was on Drew Carey show.
Yeah, no, she's
Scrubs. She played Dr. Cox's wife, right?
Yes, that's right.
And they had the obnoxious the love-hate relationship.
Yes. Yep. Exactly.
That's a show that I keep meaning to go back and rewatch, and for some reason I get derailed, and because that's a fantastic show.
Jordan,
yes,
yeah,
because that's a fantastic show. Scrubs.
I just think she's, I don't know. It's almost distracting. That's all I wanted to say. So, but I like the subtle humor in the show. There's a lot of subtle humor. And
I forget what I saw
smart.
her. She was on something. I kept looking at her going, who is that? And I go,
Mhm.
oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Anyway.
I mean, again, it's people's choice. I mean, I'm not here to criticize. I did have some big news though. This for me, our family welcomed a 6th grandchild into the world Sunday.
Hey.
If you're on Facebook, you would have known already, but it's okay.
Okay.
Congrats.
Yeah, he was. It's Jackson Anthony Cook, born 3 weeks early. So
Hey, that's a good name.
another Jackson.
Yeah, Jackson. That was my.
That's
what my
awesome.
dad used to
Congrats.
call me.
Jacks
Thank
are
you.
wild.
Jackson, because my daughter had the first pregnancy she had. I mean, she almost died. I mean, it was that bad. We go walking into the thing, and I go, and you see her. She looks like she's just completely dead, and you're just like, go, hey, yeah. So this time they were worried, so they induced her because she was having some complications. So she had no issues because
that's good.
They induced her and all that stuff like that. Thank you, everybody. But it was thank you. It's a cute little kid. He's 7 pounds, almost 8 pounds, 3 weeks early. I said, man, you couldn't have made it much longer.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously,
that kid wanted out.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, it did screw. I was going to catch because we had grandkids all week, so I was going to catch up on my sleep. That didn't happen. So,
way to go, grandkid.
I'm okay now. So I think that's the last of the grandkids. I think that's it.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's everyone said they're done. Because, I did say, me personally, I said, I'm done. I'm cutting off the daycare at the 6th kid. So you guys can have more kids, but I'm done. I'm not doing this into my 80s, which is probably 5 years away. So that's why we fell behind on.
That's awesome.
Thank you. That's why we fell behind on shows. We had my granddaughter. She was here. It's funny because my wife lost her a couple days ago. My wife
lost her.
Just I don't know where she went.
Oh,
but she's promised Ava all the jewelry she has, and she has that Jane Seymour one, the heart thing.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, I lost it. I don't know where. And so she didn't know where she did. So we have cameras in the house. I go, it looks like no, I'm not wearing it. I'm not wearing it. I lost it at work. It's going to be stolen because no one's going to return it. And she kept going on. And I was my favorite kid. She's going on. I go, I'm telling you, you're wearing it right here. Look, you're wearing it right here. No, that's a shadow. That's my button. I'm like going, she was just emotional. So she tells Ava, yesterday we had to take the kids out there. So she tells Ava, she said, I just got bad news. I lost that necklace. And Ava just goes, and she was pissed because it was her. She knew it was her necklace.
Wow.
In the future. So she was like going, She was pissed. She was not happy.
So Randy in the chat says
we fed it.
Zach is actually the next to have a kid.
Maybe, yeah. Because I thought I talked about a couple weeks ago. We're trying.
But by that time,
I want to be a great grandparent at least once before I kick off this world. So
really
Zach is probably
here tonight.
Well, I'm thinking Zach's probably my best hope. I figure he's maybe he has maybe he doesn't use a condom, and he has a kid.
You're already working it now. You're like, Zach, you know what?
He's in there like punching needles, rubbers.
Sorry, Zach. I don't know what happened. Don't ever listen to Grandpa.
Oh, Jesus.
You can never get pregnant the first time.
You need to inception this
for the FBI. We're going back 20 years and watching this episode and listening to this episode. I did not condone the actions described by my co-host.
But I will encourage him by saying, Jack, you need to plant the inception deeper by saying, like, boy, Zach, it's nice when you have a coat on, but sometimes you feel a lot more when you don't have your coat on.
You're talking about a raincoat, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
See, you can take the raincoat off and you can still get wet.
Because Cindy was like, I hope we get to see them all graduate at college. I go, well, that's not happening.
Why
not?
Why you really had it like
that? Well, I'm saying it
on a date somewhere.
I'm gonna be blunt. When you turn 60, it's easier to do the math. So you start thinking about it.
Huh.
I mean, I got to be honest. I start thinking about it. So I go, Shit, 80. I'll be. That's in 20 years. That's not that long.
But
Chris, you'll just be turning 60 or 64, right?
I'll be 60 in 20 years. I'll be 63.
63.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man,
so you can't help but think about it, is what I'm saying.
I guess I always kind of like just thought, oh, I'm gonna live to be 100. You know, like I just was like throwing that out there, like, and then everything else, I'm just like, oh, I'm almost halfway through.
That's right. Today's Jim's birthday. Happy birthday, Jim! 64 years
Jim.
young.
Happy birthday, bud.
Yeah.
So
happy birthday.
What's wild is that how long have we fucking known all of each other? 20 years?
I've known Matt
at
least 15 years, Matt. 18 years, Matt.
Yeah. 2008, 2007, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Jack and I started.
That's crazy.
So,
and Lost came out in 2004, so 19 years.
Wow.
See how fast? Okay, now you're seeing where I'm coming from.
Wow.
How fast did that go? Those 19 years.
Yeah, it's wild.
All right. So in 19 years, I'll be 79. 79, almost 80. Because my birthday.
You know what really pisses me off is the tactics.
You know, the Chinese are spying on us with the Tic Tacs.
Jesus Christ! Now we have the FBI. Now we got the CIA listening to our show. Like Jesus Christ!
Hey, we need all the listeners we can get. All right. I don't judge people that listen to us. If the CIA and the FBI want to listen to us, that's okay. Just make sure you become a patron.
I like
for just $50. The CIA can become a patron each week.
You got that government funding, siphon a little bit our way. Come on, why not?
I mean, okay. They shit most of the money away anyway. Am I right?
That's fair.
Right? Is the budget like double just because they can't balance? They just don't fuck. It's not their money, so they don't care.
You know where
I'm being Nick for a reason.
You know, Black Ops. You know, Secret. That's where the UFO money is, man.
Exactly.
It's where the UFO money.
And there's so much fraud, and nobody wants to stop it. So, all right, I'm done. As of Nick, I'm done. That's my song for the day. But no, I forgot what I was saying.
You got John in the chat telling us to do exactly what the opposite of what Jack is telling Zach to do.
Is that the title of the episode? Is that the title of the episode?
How are those Delta 9s, Jack? How are those Delta 9s treating you?
That's Delta 8, but it's
8.
So is that the title of the episode? Don't wrap it, Zach.
4 times 2.
Why? What's wrong with that?
Because your daughter-in-law's got to post it.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
And she won't even get what it is. She won't even. It won't even phase her.
She'll probably
4247. Everybody, make sure she knows to go to 4247 this episode to hear what Jack is about.
I just thought you're the one that suggested it.
I didn't suggest shit.
You said about wrapping it up. That's what.
Now I'm reading what John said in the chat.
So we're blaming John. We'll tell Colleen it was John, the UPS guy.
There you go. Yeah.
Well, on that note, good night, everybody.
Sherry points out if the group go because we have 10 people in the chat right now. If it goes from 10 people to 100 in a few minutes, you know you're in trouble.
Yeah, we're fucked.
Oh, we lost one.
Matt,
the CIA just dropped out.
What's up?
Practice. So the CIA jumps on. It was him.
That guy.
Hey, I've dealt with the FBI before.
I like to freak out my wife by like saying to our Google thing. I can't say it because once you say those words that spark the thing to come to life, it's like when talking to Alexa or Google, it's like boom, it's like recording you. So I like to say, was January 6th real? She's like, don't say that. Like,
Who are you, Marjorie Taylor Greene, right now?
Oh, crap, dude, what am I doing? She's been in the news for all the wrong reasons.
Even the Republicans are going against her on some things. It's like, okay, you need to shut the fuck up.
She's a shitbag of a person.
But she'll get reelected over and over again.
Of course.
Because the way it is. My FBI story was I dealt with the FBI years ago. I
Oh,
was
really?
managing a chain
Oh.
of mailboxes, etc.
That makes
And
sense.
there was a person working there. Her name was Feather, and that's all she went by was Feather.
Wait, what?
Feather. She reminds me of the girl on Ghost, the 60s
Oh,
hippie.
yeah. Flower.
She was Flower. She was, and her name was. She was a 60s love. She was one of those. She was a 60s
This
kid.
checks out. San Diego in the 80s, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. She's from
Late
San
90s
Diego.
or late 80s, early 90s.
It was no. This was midnight. No. 88, 89, something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
But
Anyway,
she's still living the hippie dream, though.
she probably is. But she wasn't working that day. FBI came in and they flashed their badge. I'm like, okay, yeah. Do you have a Feather working here? I go, Feather.
Like Jack just pulled.
I don't
out
even
the
know her.
Bible.
Jonathan Pryor, crap, another MBE story. So anyway, so they flashed their badge, and I go, she's not here. So whatever happened was the FBI was. I still to this day don't know what they were looking for. But she went to the owner's office. There was 2 psychologists that owned it and a minister. Anyway, 4 people owned it. 2 couples owned it at the chain, and so they wouldn't tell the FBI where she was. So they were getting mad at me for not telling them where the office was. I said, well, they told me not to tell you where the office is. So he goes, but we're the FBI. I go, yeah, but they're my boss. So I go, I don't want to get fired, right? And they're going back and forth. They go, we have ways of finding out. I go, so then, why are you bugging me?
Just use them.
Yeah, why are you bugging me?
For?
So we're going round and round and round and round.
Were?
The FBI, the psychologist, Raymond Humphreys.
Oh, okay.
His wife, Mrs. Humphreys, who smoked a lot of pot. Chris would have liked
Okay,
it.
so it was not Bin Laden, like I thought. Okay,
no, it was not Bin Laden. It doesn't get that close.
Like you're aiding and abetting somehow, like some terrorists.
So they were. I mean, obviously they were pissed at me because I was on the phone. I go, "What's their number?" I go, "They won't. I can't tell you this." I go, "They'll fire me. I don't want to get fired. I got 2 kids. I go, I got a wife. I go, we like to eat. I go, I can't tell you this." I go, yeah, just cut me some slack.
Give me a wiretap. I'll go in.
Just shave my chest because I don't have to pull the tape off with the chest hairs. But anyway, so they're going back. So they leave pissed.
It was the late 80s.
They leave pissed, and so then they come back the next day, and so I put my arms up on the wall and in the position. I go, okay, go ahead and take me.
Did you really?
Yes, swear to God. And then so one of them laughed. The other guy just kind of looked at him like, "Don't give this guy." So they asked me again. I go, "Look, I can't. I go. Be honest with you, I don't know the address. I just know where it's at." And she left town. I never saw her again. And the FBI was pissed. And I don't know. Maybe that's why I've been audited a few times. I don't know because
you're aiding and abetting a felon, probably.
Probably. I don't know. Because the FBI. I go, what did she do? We can't tell you that. I go, you can't tell me. The owner can't tell me. Nobody can tell me. But I'm on the brink of getting arrested for something I don't even know.
You should Google it and see if you can figure it out. You remember her last name?
She just went by Feather.
She went by Feather.
Good luck Googling that.
She could have been
woman named Feather, 1960s.
San Diego, 1988.
88? No. Wait, what am I? No, it had to be 89.
89. Feather.
No, it could have been 88.
Yeah, we got nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. Yeah.
Narrow it down. Narrow the feather search down. Yeah. So many feathers.
So anyway, I stood up. I stood up to the FBI. This is Matt. If you're listening, this is Matt. I stood up to the FBI. Don't tell me to fuck off again.
Okay. I think someone's just feeling their oats here. Okay.
I'm just kidding. Have fun, everybody. Anyway, that was my FBI story. And grandson. And I also, a couple months ago, I said I watched. I had hadn't been a long time since I'd seen Young Guns or whatever that movie is.
Yeah.
And turned out I'd never seen it. I said, I'm gonna watch The Quick and Dead. I haven't seen this in a while. I'd never seen it before.
Really?
I was like, I go, God, I didn't know I had Sharon Stone in this movie. Russell Crowe? Wow. I go, wow, Sharon Stone.
When she was young.
Yeah. I mean, she's still, an attractive woman. But I don't think she does plastic surgery. At least to her face. I've been told. But anyway, and Gene Hackman. Does Gene Hackman play the best bad guy because he's not an over-the-top bad? I mean, I guess Lex Luthor, he was, Chris, but he wasn't.
Enemy of the State. He was a fucking awesome bad guy.
But he doesn't. He's because in The Quick and the Dead, in Unforgiven, he's kind of a bad guy, right? The Clint Eastwood movie. He plays a bad guy a lot, but he's not over-the-top bad guy. He's such a great actor that because I'm watching this movie going, it's
almost like maniacal.
He's a dick in this movie, but he's not coming across as a dick. And he's going.
You guys remember that movie, Enemy of the State?
Yeah. That's with Kevin Costner, right?
No,
Will
it was
Smith.
Will Smith.
Oh, Will Smith. Yes, I did see that.
And what's his name? Hackman. That came out like early
98.
2000s? No, 98. Oh, shit.
Mm-hmm.
That did a really good job of predicting what it was going to be like in the future.
Hey,
from
you know who else was in that? Jack Black.
Jack Black. Oh, fuck, that's right.
And Regina King.
Mm-hmm. She's been another one who hasn't aged.
Jack Black was in Enemy of the State?
What's that?
Jack Black was in Enemy of the State?
That's what it's saying on this. I'm looking at the.
Oh, yeah, he was like a computer hacker guy.
Felder or whatever. But okay, here's the cast: Will Smith, Gene Hackman, John Voight, Regina King, Lisa Bonet, Jack Black, Seth Green, Jason Lee, Jake Busey. I assume.
Yep.
Yeah, he
Gary
looks
Busey's
exactly
son.
like his. Yeah,
he does, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Gabriel
teeth.
Gabriel Byrne is in it.
Wow, that's an all-star cast.
Yeah, no, that's got a lot of people, and
that's a sleeper movie, man. That's a great flick. What was another movie? I'm thinking of Jack Black being in it
because Will Smith's a cop or something, right? Am I right?
Yeah, he's like an FBI agent, actually.
Corrupt National Security Agency official Thomas Reynolds has a congressman assassinated to assure the passage of an expensive new surveillance legislation. When a videotape of the murder ends up in the hands of Robert Clayton Dean, Will Smith, a labor lawyer and dedicated family man, he is framed for murder.
Boom, boom, boom. I didn't know Jack Black was in Waterworld.
Huh.
He must be one of the guys on the jet ski, right?
So Jack Black connection to another Jack Black movie from that general time frame, The Jackal. Did you ever watch The Jackal?
I've seen it on West Wing.
It was what's his name?
It was
Bruce Willis.
No.
Bruce Willis. What's his name from Pretty Woman?
Richard Gere.
Thank you. Bruce Willis and Jack Black is in that movie, and he gets his arm blown off. It's pretty fucking.
What's the name of it?
The Jackal.
Yeah.
Great
what year?
97.
I don't think
97.
I saw.
Same time.
I don't think I saw that movie.
And
That's
Sidney Poitier.
He has done a lot of shit.
Yeah. So there's a whole series of movies around that time. So there's like The Jackal, Enemy of the State,
The Saint.
The Saint.
Would you put that in there?
In the Line of Fire with
with Clint Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood
and John Malkovich.
Oh, that movie is so fucking good.
I've been rewatching that on Tic Tac.
And all of those Sandra Bullock movies that were
The Net.
The Net, and
because John Malkovich is excellent in that movie.
He really owned
awesome.
the 90s. Yeah,
awesome that movie.
Well, he's a great actor.
And what's his name? Who's the guy that did Stanley Tucci? He was the baddie in Enemy of the State, also an awesome villain. Yeah, dude, those movies are awesome. That was like a whole stretch of movies in like the last.
We saw the one with Kevin Costner. What was the movie? I don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen it. He's in the militaries. I think he's in the Navy. Come on, someone old. Where's Matt Treese?
I gave up looking up these things. So
Well, Chris is looking it up. Almost said.
I'm looking up
there
right
you
now.
go. There you go.
Kevin Costner.
Yes,
what is he
Randy
done?
Kevin Daniel Day Kim was in an episode of Seinfeld.
Cool.
13 days.
Might have been
that was
not
JFK.
30 days. Yeah,
Water
he likes
World,
he likes JFK.
Bodyguard, JFK. Wait, no, 13 days was not JFK. 13 days was the Cuban Missile Crisis. JFK.
Yes, well, it's JFK.
Well, same time frame. You're right. I got you.
Yeah, it would have been in the 80s sometime. I saw JFK in the theater. I left going, man, that fucked
up.
I can't wait for Seinfeld to explain it.
Wait a minute.
Did you find it?
No, I don't know.
All right, you talk and I'll go find it.
But yeah, so I mean, Kevin Costner, he kind of owned the 80s and 90s too. I mean, he had an incredible
Yeah.
run.
I mean,
That movie he had was a cowboy movie.
Untouchables.
Danny Glover.
I don't know what that is.
You know,
But he did Bull Durham and Field of Dreams back to back.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
then he started owning shit, right?
Oh yeah. We had Dances with Wolves.
Then you did Robin Hood, and that was a fucking awesome Robin Hood movie.
oh my gosh.
Alan
Alan
Rickman.
Rickman.
Alan
Yep.
Rickman with a spoon because it'll hurt more. The Bodyguard.
Oh, The Bodyguard. Yeah, had a good song.
Wyatt Earp.
Wyatt Earp,
shit.
yes.
The War, Waterworld.
Dude, Silverado
so
was
many
a
good movies.
Silverado was his first big break, I think, and that it has Danny Glover in it. I think Richard Klein.
Yeah.
Let's see, Danny Glover, Scott Glenn, Kevin Kline, who's married to what's her name? Fast Time Ridgemont High.
People just tune in to hear us name off random.
So anyway, why am I drawing a blank on her name? Everyone in the 80s crush on her.
Jonathan Kent in fucking Man of Steel.
Well, you're probably forgetting the name because you're already thinking about dying in 20 years.
That could be it. See,
You've already given up.
American Flyers, Amazing Stories, The Untouchables. He was excellent in Untouchables. No Way Out. If you haven't seen No Way Out, it has a huge twist, and I really enjoyed it.
There's no way out of this
CBJ for sure.
podcast except one way.
And it
That's
has
through
Gene
Jack.
Hackman. That's the reason I got confused. Gene Hackman is in this movie.
There you go.
So if you haven't seen No Way Out, go see No Way Out. And did we figure out that one movie we were talking about?
No.
Oh, no, the actress. The actress was she came out of the pool in
Phoebe Cates.
Best I read about Phoebe Cates. Thanks you, John, the retired guy. Yes. So yeah, he's married to Phoebe Cates.
Hard hitting news. You heard it here first.
Well, you got to be a little jealous, anyway. So that's all I got. Quick and the Dead. I really enjoyed. I thought it was
Quick
a good
and the
movie.
Dead. Also about
Sharon
our
Stone
podcast.
Sharon Stone was pretty good in it. And what's his name? What's the guy? The Aussie guy, the Gladiator. Russell Crowe was in it. So there, and Leonardo DiCaprio. Caprio.
That was like a Freudian slip there.
He plays a young person. And there's other people in it, but anyway.
You know who also
Matt.
plays a young person?
Who?
Chris. When he's like, guys, listen, I got to get my sleep.
So we're ready to wrap this show up under an hour?
Yeah, that's what I've been trying to.
It's been over an hour. Do we have any emails from our listeners?
Oh, fuck. Forgot to check.
That's Nick.
I guess
Nick's
I
in
got to
charge
do it
of
because
that.
Nick's not here.
Right.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks, Nick.
He's in Louisiana.
Getting some of that Cajun.
Shit, he's in Louisiana now?
Yeah.
He's going to that red light district.
Well, no,
I've never-
it's a jazz fest down there. That's the best time in the world ever to be in Louisiana.
It's also a
I've
sex
never been
fest.
to Louisiana. Sex fest. Show me your beads.
No, that's a different.
that's Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think it can be sexy.
New Orleans Jazz
anytime.
Festivals. You should check out the New Orleans Jazz Festival lineup this year. It's incredible.
I heard that going to New
Lizzo
Orleans.
will be there.
I heard that going to New Orleans in during Halloween is a really great time.
I've heard that. I have also heard that.
Because it's the weather's a lot more mild, and all of the decorations, it really kind of, anyway, because everybody goes there kind of more for Mardi Gras, but like it's kind of more the chill.
So that they don't say "show me your beads," and is that just a Catholic thing?
I don't know, but I think there's bars that you can go along and drink along and get, Anyway, let's wrap this up.
I forgot, Chris. We do have an email.
Oh,
okay.
I know I forgot something. The original Star Wars fan from our great listener, great contributor, Randy.
Hey, Randy.
Says Matt has agreed to return as a vaunted role as RCAD producer.
What?
I am ending my email moratorium. Yippee! He said he wasn't gonna send an email again until you became producer again.
Oh, okay. Well,
thanks for holding out, Randy. Appreciate it.
That's not happening.
Let's do it for Jack. No, I guess not. Fuck off, Jack. That's the title of this episode. Do you realize that Jack is the real Star Wars OG?
F off, Jack.
He saw the original film in 1977 before any of you other did, which is fact. It wasn't even called A New Hope yet. Where of each of you first see a Star Wars film? The Randalorian.
So
that's pretty funny.
That's pretty good. But my brother, I would say, went to the movie theater and saw Empire Strikes Back the day I was born.
Nice.
Yeah, I saw.
No, or the week after I was born. When was it? I think it was the day I was born.
Way to rub it in. He's like, boom, burn. Like,
what was
I'll
better?
show you this cool stuff.
The movie or Chris being born? It's got to be the movie. It's got to be the movie.
I don't.
Well, hey, they're re-releasing Empire Strikes Back. Or I'm sorry, Return of the Jedi in the theaters this next month. And my daughter's like,
have you ever seen it in theaters?
No,
I did. Yeah, I remember both seeing Empire and Return of the Jedi in the theater because, and I think I've probably talked about this before.
You're up there.
I'm up there. Well, I was, I would have been 4 when I saw Empire, but I remember specifically my mom telling me because Luke gets his robotic hand and my hand was born closed shut. I had a lot of surgeries when I was a kid. So seeing Luke in a hospital gown and getting surgery, it was kind of like oh, that's like, what I've been through that, So my mom says, maybe one day you'll have a hand like that.
Wow.
And it was like in that moment, I was just like, that's it. I love Star Wars. I love Luke. This is.
So that explains your passion for it.
I like it. So yeah. But
that was the nicest story you've ever told.
Oh. Thanks.
He's told other nice stories, Chris.
No, that was really fucking.
It was a nice story.
Sweet.
It was a nice.
Yeah, it stands out. That's why
it hits you in the heart. It's real.
Mm-hmm. And by the way, I also have earlier memories going back to when I had one of the surgeries on my hand, which was more traumatic and kind of like really kind of scary. But that's why it stands out, because when you're that young, it's like only those really intense.
And it had something similar. So yeah.
So, but that was a sweet memory though with my mom. And then Return of the Jedi with my dad, I remember walking out of the theater with him and he said, well, that's it. They're done with these movies. And just being like heartbroken. Just like, what? That's it? No.
Thanks, dick.
So then I made sure that I took him to Force Awakens and I was like, and now?
I'll be honest. Back then, you'd wait because they came like every 3 years.
Oh, every 3 years. Yeah.
Yeah, and I said, okay, it's been 3 years because you didn't have the internet. You couldn't either. You got information or you didn't.
You didn't.
So
know.
it was like,
yeah.
And there was nobody else there talking about it. Obviously, it was another 20 years, whatever it was.
I mean, they did Willow, and they did what was the other.
But it wasn't something, and you're like going, okay, the main characters are getting really fucking old. We did know there were 9 different episodes, and they did 4, 5, and 6 first, and so like going, okay, I don't get that, but whatever, because that was probably the most interesting story, as it turns out. between 1, 2, 3, and right.
Well, I mean, he had written a larger. We've gone way longer now, but
Yeah,
he had written out a longer storyline, and then he edited things and condensed them down, and was basically like, okay, this is the story that I'm going to. I'm pretty sure your dad was right. They didn't make any more after that. It was over. So, there were 2 Ewok movies, and those were exciting when they came on TV because it was like,
why does Will hate me?
Cartoons, so.
what I think is interesting though is that like talk about a big balls move to like just, hey, I'm gonna start with episode 4 just so in case this shit works, I have like all this extra shit I can do before and after I make them. And like it's funny, like George Lucas had no fucking idea what he was doing. Like he didn't know shit. Like I was watching an interview with him the other day, or like we was talking about Yoda. Like Yoda
it could have been a monkey.
I saw that on TikTok.
Yeah, it too. So Yoda didn't have like a race or like a background because George Lucas just didn't fucking know. Like it wasn't like some like secret of like the universe.
Well, because he probably didn't. I don't know why by then he didn't expect things to blow up. Because after the first one, obviously it was just.
Well, what's interesting is like what he did with Yoda is he was replacing Obi-Wan with Yoda, right?
Yeah.
So like that was like the character replacement because like they lost out on having a big name actor. So well, let's just create this fucking alien that's wise beyond his ages and has the Force and blah blah blah. We don't know where he's from. I don't know. Fuck it. Let's just put him on screen. And that's literally how Yoda was made. Like there wasn't like there wasn't some crazy like background written about all these characters. Like he framed out 4 episodes of what to write these movies, and then he just cashed in on the thousands and thousands and thousands of ideas that came after it. Whether they're by him or somebody else. Like
it was probably a lot of fan fiction back then. I mean,
sure,
to this day.
But I mean, even with Luke and Leia, he had, at the end of Empire, he was thinking, oh, Leia wasn't Luke's sibling at that point, and that
obviously not.
Right. Well, Luke was supposed to have a sister that was somewhere else in the galaxy, that they were really actually separated, and that she would be coming back at some point. So, or that we would be introduced to her in Return of the Jedi. So,
which is why I think it's dumb that she doesn't recognize Obi-Wan from when she was a kid from the Obi-Wan series.
Fail. I do remember you complaining about that.
When does she not recognize him?
Well, she doesn't know who Obi-Wan Kenobi is. She never lives on to knowing who Obi-Wan Kenobi is. When she meets Obi-Wan Kenobi, it's like there is no like retcon going back to her as a kid from the Obi-Wan TV.
She could have blocked it out.
She doesn't have much interaction with him.
She does. She got fucking saved by him.
Well, no, but I mean, like it's not like in A New Hope when the only thing we see is that years ago you served my father in the Clone Wars. She's being very formal in that way, but she's not letting on that she knows him in that message. Maybe because it would. So you think it's,
but even when she sees him,
she doesn't. There's no moment where they interact. Luke, Han, and Chewie, they rescue her, right? And then it's only in their rescue that they're trying to get back to the ship. Meanwhile, Obi-Wan's done his little wizardry stuff, gotten the tractor beam out of commission, gets in the fight with Darth Vader.
Right. She never
gets to interact with him.
Oh, so Chris needs to take back his complaint, I think.
No.
There's not, and we never get in a conversation in which Luke and Leia actually discuss Obi-Wan Kenobi, except for the fact that Luke's being a little bit of a bitch when he's just like, oh, I can't believe he's gone. And she's like, hey, my whole planet was destroyed. And oh, by the way, Obi-Wan Kenobi was my guy. Okay. So I miss him too. I don't know.
Yeah. So suck it up, Luke, you bitch. Fuck off.
I don't know if that's inappropriate to call him that, but he has been known to be called that before. And
why can't I call him a bitch?
I'm just saying, like, her whole planet exploded, and he's the one that's like got to have the blanket to cover him. Like, oh, you must be in a state of shock. I was just almost terror raped by my father in a black suit. What's your day like? Anyway,
well, I'm a whiny bitch. What do you want?
Well, it looks like I opened up a can of worms here.
I'm your son.
You opened a can of worms.
This just went fucking weird. Matt, it's probably a good place to wrap it up.
That's a good place to wrap it up. Yeah,
I wanted to wrap it up. I wanted to wrap it up like 9 minutes ago, Matt.
You did.
So
I did too.
And who said? Is there an email?
You did.
I did.
I didn't know. I didn't say there's an email. I said I
I'm
forgot
the one.
to check.
I said.
So we're taking the blame off Matt, taking the blame off Jack, and we're going to Chris.
I don't care who the fuck's fault it is. Let's just wrap the show up.
Because I don't want to bring up Star Wars because Matt will bitch about it, right?
I didn't bitch about it.
He'll find something wrong with it.
I'm kicking the tires, man.
I can't even. Now, how am I supposed to watch this now with Luke going? Okay, he's just a whiny bitch. I can't stand his character.
Uncle Owen.
Shut up, whiny bitch. You know, someone should do that.
I think they have.
Where every time Luke says
So I do want to say one. I want to say one thing about.
I was ready to end the show.
One thing about Mandalorian before we do close.
Okay,
out.
so one more Mandalorian thing.
I want to give credit.
Hurry, whiny bitch! Finish it so I can finish the show.
And I said R5 was pointless in this show, other than fan service.
Mhm.
But R5 finally fucking had a role of significance in this episode,
and took out some. Yeah,
pretty cool. But that was a long fucking build up for his character.
Can I say something, Chris? That was a really cool story, but not worth the 2 minutes extra it took us to close out this podcast.
So who should we say thank you to then, Jack?
We're gonna thank if you want to become a patron, FBI if you're out there, become a patron. CIA if you become my name is Chris or Matt. That's who's talking, Chris or Matt. The other guy is it's an illusion. I'm not really here. So anyway, so we go
with a fucking weed plant behind his head.
All right.
Yeah, you live in North Carolina. You can't have that shit.
It's illegal. It's okay.
Backwoods state.
And then I got.
I'll. You know what? I'm in North Carolina. I'll just smash a Bud Light can. They'll let me go. Right? Wait. Does that work? Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I'm free to go. And here in North Carolina, they're trying to ban drag queen shows. I go, is there nothing not more? What the fuck? I mean, that's almost like you want
to ban drag queens shows, but wrestling, that's fine. Okay.
Like I said, I just live here, but it's almost like you sometimes with Indiana. You go, what the fuck? I mean, of course, I can say the same thing in California. What the fuck? Where could you move to? What state could you sit there and just go?
I don't know.
Not they have to say what the fuck.
Vermont?
I mean, Massachusetts. Come on, you guys are crazy.
I mean, that's the answer.
Massholians.
Rarely do we have bullshit laws happening here, other than we get rid of the old school ones.
But you sit there and go, what? I was reading that. I go, I don't believe what I'm reading. I go, what the fuck? People are dying every fucking day. You get tons of homeless. You got gun violence is everywhere, and we're worried about drag queens. What the fuck?
No, you're right. I mean, there are things that they're trying to
Here's an idea
that are just
don't go. If you don't like it, don't go to the show. No one's coming to your house saying, holding a gun, saying you must go to the show. No, nobody's saying that. Jesus Christ. Anyway,
but God forbid we try to regulate gun control. Okay, whatever.
Anyway, so only way to get away with the gun control because Nick's not here, right? Am I right?
The only way
Am I wrong?
The only way we can regulate guns is if we make guns look like vaginas. I'm just putting it out there. Just that it's a thought. So I'm trying to transition.
I was going to say something, but I don't want to get canceled because right away I thought of something, but I would have gotten in trouble.
How about we look to thanking the fucking listeners?
I was doing that until you said had to stop.
Let's just go. Move.
No, I was going to do that until you had to tell your stupid story.
I know.
Even 17 different forms of bullshit about North Carolina. Let's just
even Matt was falling asleep during that. All right, guys. If you'd like to become a patron, CIA, FBI, anybody else who's listening, and why wouldn't you? This is an original. I mean, there's nothing scripted here, right?
Nope.
when it says Ramblecast, we don't. I have no fucking clue except for a Star Wars thing.
I
what we're gonna talk
apologize
about.
about the bitches comment. Okay.
Yeah, I
All
feel
of
bad
them.
too. Anyway,
I
that
didn't
was
say anything
Chris.
bad, so
That was
fuck
Chris
off,
and Matt.
everybody.
That was Chris and Matt saying it.
And the listeners we want to thank are
All right, become a patron. We Eckhart, Richter, Glappeler, Maggie the Magnificent, Joanne with a plan, who we've not heard from in a while, and
Joanne,
Ed,
I'm doing all right.
creepy, poopy letter carrier. And thanks for Matt and Chris joining us on 420 Day. I may have had a Delta 8 and then maybe been drinking, so I don't
And
know.
then I got high. And then I got high.
420.
'Cause I'm
Happy
old.
421.
Yeah, so
Happy
hopefully
420.
it's legal someday. That's all I got. Hasta luego and goodbye.
Goodbye.
This was a great show. 1 in a million.
Great show. Great show.
Wonderful.
How are ya?